Yeah, well, uh, let's see where. Let's see. Is Dorothy out in the bathroom? Yeah, because she's a little nervous about class. Okay, so we start the class with the warm-ups as typical. So this is a live class, so we're actually not. The camera's just following along. Hands up like this. Ready? Turning. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and stop. Okay, to the side. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and stop. Okay, hands up. Reach down. 1, 2, 3. To your right, to your left, center, inhale, exhale. Hands up. Reach down. 1, 2, 3. To your right, to your left, center, inhale, exhale. Okay. Hands up one more time. Hands up. Reach down. 1, 2, 3. To your right, 2, 3. To your left, 2, 3. Center, inhale, exhale. Okay, hands in your waist. Circular movements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2. So you can stand on this side over here. Yeah, yeah, a little bit. Yeah, on that blue spot's good, and then you can move down a little. Okay, go reverse. 1, 2 feet of shoulder width. Feet about shoulder width, a little bit wider than that. Yeah, good. Yeah, that's fine. So you can see yourself in the mirror. So use your, watch yourself do it. See, reference all the spots that we talk about. And center. Okay, cross. Circular movements with the knees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2. Reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2. Center, hands in your waist. Okay, neck turning. Okay, ready to your right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2. Back and forth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2, center, tilt to the side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, and stop. Center, circular movements down, 1, 2, 3, reverse, 1, 2, 3. Okay, center. Hands up, pull in, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Okay, spread your feet, turn your shoulders, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2, 3, and stop. So do a little light stretching. Let's turn to the right. So go over here. Then just go as deep as you can. Okay. Okay, switch. 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 Straighten the front knee. So this time straighten this leg. Just get a little stretch in the back. So this will help release some of the tension in your lower back too. Okay, switch. Okay, center. Okay, up, shake it out. Okay, hands up, deep breathing. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. So to sometimes supplement the stretching, we do this leg exercise for the footwork. So hands here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So hands on your waist. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then turn. 1, 2, 3. Forward, back, turn, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. So you're just building the coordination and turning in directions. So this turns, steers us in this direction. We fix the feet. This spins this way. Turn forward and back, and we turn back to the front. And then deep breathing. Okay, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. exhale, inhale, exhale. Okay, we'll work on the hands and the feet later on, but right now we just do the shoulder roll. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Center. Press. Release. Exhale. Inhale. And stop. Okay, deep breathing. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Okay, wrists. And center. Now we reverse. One thing is coordinate your elbows, your knees, your wrists, your ankles, your hips, and your shoulders. Okay, now bigger circle, hands down. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. One more set. 1, 2, and stop. Okay, shake it out. Okay, side to sides, shifting. Feel your hips swaying. Keep the spine tracking so it's vertical. Once the spine is over the supporting leg, you should feel that line going right through your heel. So that's your balance point. Now, we were to lift the knee at this point, we'd track the movement up, lift, and up, and down, up, So this is a golden cockerel, stands on one leg. This is the yang style golden cockerel. Okay, shake it out. Okay, let's aim toward the sun line. Turn your shoulders. Twist your waist or twist lower back turns. Okay, now we bring the right foot in and back. Okay, again, one. So try to coordinate the hand and the feet. Sometimes we do it just stepping like this. Swinging is free form, but when you walk, this is basically the relationship between hands and feet. Okay, other side. The hands move the center, and then we can alternate the feet. Then do that for a while, and then we're going to swing. And center. Okay, side to side, go opposite. So here, so they kick out. Okay, switch. If you can, it actually crosses the front of your body like this, but your hips actually have to turn a little bit this way once you cross. So it does have to turn, otherwise it wouldn't go in front of you. And center. All right, shake it out. Hands up, pull in, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, hold the ball, silk reeling. So we're going to step out, right foot forward. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And keep it going. 1, 2, 3, 4. So remember, the lower hand goes to the hip, then the hip hand goes high, and then it goes down. See here, 1. Yeah, it says mirror image, so this hand goes up. And then this hand goes down. And then this goes back. 1, 2, turn, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the left goes to the right shoulder. This goes to the hip. Yeah. So if this is confusing to you, for most of us that do diagonal flyings, and I talk about the geometry of position, it's confusing when you start to look and you don't know where the hands are. Well, when your hands are like this, they're crossed. When your hands are like this, there's 245s. So that's a reference. That's a cross hand position. This is the cross hand on your center line in front of the sternum. Then you have the cross hand that's in front of the face. And then if you down here and you turn, you have a cross hand that's waist level, right? Now if I put this hand like this, I have a 45-degree line, and you go like this, your arms are parallel. If you look in the mirror, that's how your arms are. But it gets confusing when you start to move your hands. But basically, if you put your hands like this, and they just open up and pass each other, and they go back. So you have one on one side, and then if you were to switch, it would be on the other side. Yeah. So I guess it does take a little bit of coordination, but just think of this. You're just like this. You know, when you do put your hand on your heart or like this, you would just use your hip as a reference. The arms are like this. So this is slanted, this is slanted. And then when you turn for really part the horse's mane, your hands turn out like this, and then they slide up. So those two hands actually work in the same plane of movement. See, they're slipping like this. Now, typically we start from the hold the ball. So when we're doing part the horse's mane, and we go to hold the ball position, your arms are like this. First it's like this, then it's like this, and then we move up. So what's it take to go from here to here? From here to here is tilting and relaxing the shoulders. So when you relax the shoulders and you elongate the hands in that direction, that's what you get. So it's really the manipulation of our skeletal structure. Now these subtle movements, when you manipulate like this and go like this, still takes muscle control. Because what happens, the muscle contracts, it creates action. Every time the muscle contracts, it takes energy. Every time you produce the energy and release the energy, it produces circulation. So the fact that we're holding the ball, and where does this happen? For those of you who have been doing this a while, you would know that when you hold the ball, it doesn't just go like this. It actually goes from holding the ball to this, and then to this. And then you change and you go back. So holding the ball is a setup. It's the setup for part the horse's mane, but you have to, because I'm slanting and creating this line, that's the line you're looking for. So body form is something that you have to pick up visually, then you start to assimilate, create the action that you think you see. But the first thing you have to do is not just look at the hands. See, so what you're looking at is the hands. You're not looking here. So if you don't look here, then you don't see the cross hands. When you see the hands out here, then this is what you see. But you're not seeing this. So when movements are generated, they're created from here. Like hold the ball, reverse the ball. So this is what you should practice, is getting used to getting your hands to here. So sort of like giving yourself a hug. You're just grabbing like that, and then you let it go, and that's what you do. But to do this, you're programming a motion. Doing this is like doing this. So if you don't have a problem picking a cup and putting it to your mouth because it's programmed, and you know where the mouth is, you know where the hand goes, then that's actually a subconscious movement. So you have to do this enough so that when you cross your body, it becomes familiar. How do you do that? You have to do it every day, 10 or 20 times. Then after a couple of weeks, you know that position. Right? So you know it now already. Now once we're here, what do we have to do? Once we're here, we turn the palms flat so they actually will pass each other. And then one goes up, one goes down. So the only thing you have to remember is lower hand goes up, upper hand goes down. And then if they were to slant back and forth, back and forth, that's what you would have both sides. So Arthur would know that when we're here and we slant down like this, that's actually like when we're doing a slice. So that would be slicing down. And we have that sometimes in the 54 or the Wu Style Tai Chi form when we slant down like this and then we go up to do the kicks. So they're really basic fundamentals. Okay, so from there, let's go to open and close. Cross the hands. Now here's that cross hand. Open, close, open, close. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, switch, cross, open. No, we switch feet too. Ready? So we have our left foot forward. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So while we're thinking of opening and closing, when we do the infinity sign, it's a small figure 8. When we open like this, it gets a little bit bigger. This is a horizontal hoop out to the side. So if we turn like this, you can see the arm just turns in a direction, and I extend it here. That's that form. That's this form. If I'm here and I turn this way, and I extend this to the straight position, I have those two positions. So that's your reference point. This is shoulder height to the front. This is to the side. If I shrink this back and turn it like this, and I come back to center, and I turn like this, that's your horizontal hoop. So that's what our body has to recognize when we form these different postures, because it's the shape. When a hand is like this, and I bring it up, if I put this hand here, and I put this hand here, that's your Jade Lady Work Shuttle. And the reason why those are important is because a posture is the final position. It also has a leg position, but that's where the accuracy of the movement comes in. Because once you practice this over time and define that specific hand position, then through sensitivity and awareness of that position, your body will start to learn it. And that's the target position. What varies is the transition, and the transition varies based on the fact that everyone is slightly different. Everyone takes on the movement and perceive things to be slightly different. So we have to go through this whole process of elimination. And when we process, we eliminate all the erroneous motions, all the tension, all the stiffness that the body accumulates over time. It takes out just through a course of time, and also sort of decompressing and taking out that anxiety that you have. So what does anxiety do? It creates tension. It creates a little bit of stiffness and anxiousness. So a lot of this is just sort of a mind control of letting the movement take over that process. Because if we just let that happen, then it controls our musculature. So musculature gets rigid from stress, because it's anxiety and stress, and it's happening from the mind, the brain. And during stress periods, you actually will secrete certain chemicals that create that stress level too. So when we're here, we have that hoop. When we're here, we have that straight position. Now we're going to bring it down to here. Now we're going to open the movement like this. This is preparation. Then we have to include the elbows and the knees. Sink the elbow. Let the hands follow the movement. So when you sink, the wrist bends, and then it goes the opposite way. Okay, so that's preparation, and we'll go to low. Now, if you look at your wrists, consider the straight as neutral. And then you have one that goes down, and you have that one goes up. So in motion, when you lift here and you sink, it starts to drop. When it drops and then you start to go the opposite way, it passes through neutral, and it goes in the opposite direction, which is this, right? And between this, and this is 3 positions. So neutral is passing through, but that's the point. So if you do this slowly and smoothly, every time you pass neutral and then open and press, you get like a surge, right? That surge is your blood, the circulation. So when you let go and it feels like there's a tingling in your hand, right? Because you're restricting it and you're letting it open. You're restricting it and letting it open. That brings the circulation down all the way to the fingertip. And that small action is creating a wave. And you can feel it all the way to your fingertips. So you can feel the pulsing, and your fingertips will actually swell a bit, because those movements are created by gentle contractions. Now we go to a stillness position. We round out and we hold this. Clear the thoughts. Hold the position. Cup the shoulders slightly so the elbows end up going out a bit. Now here's your shoulder height position. Elbows down. Okay, let's lower the palms, lower the hands, and then invert them, and then straighten your spine as you press with the palm. So you lift your back and let the spine push up and elongate. Now extend your fingertips and thrust down so you feel. So remember the straight wrist, the wrist should be straight, as if you're thrusting. the same time, lift your spine, lift your neck. Okay, deep breathing. Okay, good. So, all these drills that we do, we just look at them as calisthenics, but actually you're developing alignment of your ligaments and tendons. We move our muscles simply by doing things, whether it's physical or lifting or just motion will create musculature. But if you don't have completeness in your movement, if you don't expand and you don't reach out and reach the limits of your movements without force, the ligaments and tendons don't get to align. So the alignment of the ligaments and tendon brings it all the way to the ends. So that connects to the connective tissue on the ends of the bones, because that's where the ligaments and tendons are tied to. So that connective tissue actually has very poor circulation, and you have to manipulate them in order to generate that kind of alignment. But when you align it, eventually your body starts to recognize that end of the motion. But you have sensors in the ends of your joints as part of your proprioceptive reflexes, and it begins to become, aware that the movement is incomplete or isn't in line. So all this alignment that we're trying to do is getting the body to be aware that there's a balance. So in Tai Chi, the concept of yin and yang is not just the balance in standing, the balance in motion, the balance in breath, the balance in the body's actions to keep the musculature working evenly, not having one side more tense than the other. And the best way to overcome those misalignments is through movement. Talking about vertical spine, expanding, moving back in, turning, all of this stuff, the manipulation of your skeletal structure is all tied to that. So that's why we have to do them, with what's called mind intent. Intent is something in Tai Chi that we use a lot it's not just being conscious and mindful of, but it's tied to, how your mind directs your body or directs whatever you want to do. It's a yi, they call it. So you have a feeling, and like you get in your car and you want to go somewhere. That's part of your intent. Sometimes you're so focused on doing that, and that's where your body goes. So when you're moving, your movement is using that kind of mind intent to direct it. Okay, so let's go to diagonal flying. So we're back to this again, and all we do is slant back, and it comes back. So this is the diagonal that I was talking about. But in silk railing, there's an additional turn, which really goes into part the horse's mane. And you separate, and then you sit. Now the elbows and the shoulders are so important that you have to sink the elbow, relax the shoulder, and tie the elbows with the knees. So why we do these over and over again is because it begins to discover through the experience of doing this motion, and then your body learns to delete and get rid of any of the excessiveness in the motion. Remember, Dorothy, we have to have our hands like this. We have to start here. Remember the 45 line and slanting up. So we're only doing one side, so it just goes back and forth. It just goes up and down, up and down. So that's diagonal flying on that side. Now we switch. We're going to go this side. And we just go spread. So this is bringing it together, spread. So you're just doing one side. The left hand keeps going up, and it goes straight back down, and it goes up and down. Try to target the same exact position each time. We call that, everybody thinks of muscle memory, but this is posture memory. It finishes for the final position. So you finalize the position, then over time you begin to know. Okay, next, cloud hands, turn. And then we're down. Lower hoop, upper hoop, palms out, cross the hands, and down. So what is this? Carry tiger to the mountain. So why is this so easy to do, it seems? Because both hands are working as pairs, and they're doing exactly the same thing. So it's not as confusing. Okay, let's go to infinity sign. Figure 8. Spread the hands. So you separate, combine, bring it together. Turn. Turn. So if you include the elbows, just let the elbows go. Relax. On the downside, your shoulders relax. You spread and open and close. Open and close. Now form the fists. And punch. Okay. Next, bring the palms together. There's your full straight arm on the center line. Now fold the elbows, bend the knees, separate the hands, turn the shoulder away. So when the hand slides down, you're drawing your torso backward. So that creates a turn. And you're turning from the lower lumbar area. It's not your hips. It's your lower back. Okay, center, thumbs up on the right, palms together, alternate the shoulders. And switch. Other side, left side, thumbs up, palms. So pivot, pivot, drop, and lift. So use gravity, relax the shoulders, let them rotate inside the joint. And after we finish this, we're going to go to extended vertical center line. So we're here. Turn, draw the bow, turn, draw the bow, expand, open the back, close the front, expand, and close. So try to get your elbow so it draws completely level with the other hand. So you're drawing a straight line, you turn, so your elbow is thrusting backwards as an intent. And then you go back to the hand, you begin to turn, they merge and separate. So when you're doing movements that are passive action, that's really creating the position as a function of something else. So what's creating it? The fact that we're turning, the length and the separation and movement is created by the rotation of your spine. So in this way, you're really using a lot less strength. It's not a physical isolated movement. Now we're here. Fan to the back. Okay, raise the hand. Right through the center. Everything goes right through the center. And then down. Okay, deep breathing. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. So we're going to go through some posture training. I call them dosing. You go through different things that actually will highlight, because when we learn sequence is sequential memory. So we build a network of postures that are linked together, but at the same time, that's a training to develop sort of a book of movements to house all the different transitions that you may have in the map form. That's a certain kind of memory. Muscle memory is a certain kind of memory. So the sequence, once you have it in the subconscious and you kind of can get through without thinking and you know it, then you have to relearn the form and look through it to see how the postures actually are built, the geometry of position, the transitions, the timing, the phases, the concepts and principles that drive the movement. All of those things start to become more important. So each one of those is a different stage. They sometimes are combined together depending on how your body's adapting. So, there's a method to the madness. You have to go through this process because humans learn pretty slowly. We have to go through a process, and the brain actually has to go through this metamorphosis. It builds neurons, it builds all the necessary signaling that it's required to do the movements. So you have to get your mind to be able to understand what everything you're hearing is and everything you're seeing. So the mind has to be fed this information, and then it has to analyze it, which is what it does all the time anyways. It's just that that process, once it's gone through that analysis, it starts to direct to the body the order of things that should happen. Those are the sequential, the synapses that have to be firing at the right time. So those are connected to different muscle fibers in your muscle to create a movement. And there's thousands and thousands of these things happening per second. You wouldn't be able to count them, but it happens. So it's just a matter of doing it, and eventually you'll be able to pick up on it. So when we're here, and we know we have a neutral position like this, and we have a neutral position like this. Now we did this turning, we're going to end up going to this side, right? So you see what I did? I'm starting to bring the hand movements with the foot movements so that we start to build that coordination and integration of body. Because the idea of upper-lower coordination, when something happens below, something happens above. When something happens above, something happens below. So that's how, where we have that footwork that we did earlier, and we have this neutral position. Now once we get to here, we go forward for grasp the sparrow's tail, and this is your left side grasp the sparrow's tail, which is 4 movements. Then we sit back and we turn. And we turn to the opposite direction, creating the hand movement that's required to get you to the next position. And grasp the sparrow's tail we know as 4 movements, and we go back to center and we turn. We can turn and make 2 circles if you choose to, just getting the idea that there's continuity of movement. Grasp the sparrow's tail. If you pause, go to neutral, and we pass through center, we're here. And then we continue around, and we're here. And then we're at right side, grasp the sparrow's tail. So if you have trouble integrating the hands, when you get to the position, just do the grasp the sparrow's tail, because it's this unit. And back, inside hand up, and forward. Then we sit back to neutral. Then we start. Now we go like this. And now we're on this side. Grasp the sparrow's tail. And then your hands begin to change. There's a double circle or a single circle. Then we do grasp the sparrow's tail. And if we were to hook the wrists and turn to front, there's single whip, a small single whip, and then we're here. So you see how movements can blend together as long as you know that there's a fundamental action. Okay, so you see, that's blending. Remember, I think the other day you said, does part the horse mane start here? Well, of course, you go to this position, as Jade Lady Workshop, or you go to this position, and then you end up doing part the horse's mane. And if you were to step up, and you're doing just simply this, and then combining with the toe out and step up, the blending of that action becomes tighter. So that if my hand is here and I'm turning, I'm actually not just moving my feet or my hand, they're moving as a sequence of events. So this wants to go with this wants to go with this, and we're here. Now, geometry. Well, we're here. I'm going to turn, well, I need my lower hoop over here, and then unwind the lower hoop to find my vertical. And I go to the lower hoop here, and then I come to here. So each side has its own, pattern, and has its own shape of geometry. So they have to work together. Between vertical and horizontal and vertical, it's a constant. It's constantly exchanging between those two positions, because you can't go from one position next without going through vertical and horizontal. So that's just, something that we probably didn't realize, but that's what actually happens. So if I turn here, I have to go to horizontal. Horizontal is really elbow out, elbow in, I'm back. So if I turn here and I do a brush knee, essentially the same thing happens. If I preset the circle, then I end up here. If I combine these circles, then it ends up like this. You see, the same brush the knee, but with a continuity of movement. So the form that we develop and memorize becomes a sequence that we have ingrained in all the postures, run into each other, we know the order. But the way you practice a form could be in this continuous form. It could be broken down to units, defining like a robot. So then you're defining specific angle positions, or you can just be fluid, and depending on what your intent is. So there's different stages and levels of ideas of how you want this form to look. If you're working on specific things, that's how you would practice it. So it's really interesting how, you adapt the form to different execution. You can do it fast, you can do it slow, you can do it round, you can do it square. But that concept isn't understood when you're first learning it, because it's pretty confusing. Not only getting your joints to work, so that takes some control, getting your hands to work takes some coordination, and then it takes some memory, then it takes identifying what that is and what that is. See? So just going back to what we're doing, simply this, right? Now if I turn to here to do a brush knee, here's your right side push, and we go back to neutral. Now we don't preset it, and we just turn. And then we go to this side, we do it like this. Then there's a version of brush knee. So that's the brush knee we do in the obliques, because we turn from here, we turn to the opposite side, and we continue into the brush knee as one way of practicing brush knee and push. Now we preset it like we do in the form when we're first learning it. We're setting up the round, we move the hand, we flip from horizontal to vertical, and we push. We go to neutral, we preset the round, we sit back and turn, and we're here, down and out. So that's brush knee and push with a 180-degree turn. Now we just take the same movement. Let's turn again. Go to neutral. Let's do forward to back, turn to the center, left, Jade Lady work shuttle. Sit back, turn. Go through the same procedure, just was vertical and horizontal. Vertical, turn, Jade Lady work shuttle. When we have this in the form, forward, back, and forward. Now we're going to do it again. Turn, forward, back, and turn. And then we go back to center. Okay. So there's 3 drills. Working grass the sparrow's tail, jade lady work shuttle, which is really the same concept, vertical to horizontal, vertical. One's high, one's in the middle, and then we have brush knee. So because they're paired, you can practice them, just practicing the footwork, 180 degrees. And then the transitions that you're building in those maneuvers will show up in your form. Because when you're doing the cross step and jade lady work shuttle, there's a lot of footwork, and if something has to happen above and something has to happen below, when you make your turns, this movement becomes part of those movements, and then it just becomes automatic. You'll recognize it as a transition, and your movements will just begin to blend in. So that's something that even people that have been doing a while should recognize as a valuable tool to get your movements much more accurate and more precise. So let's go through the whole form, the Tai Chi Paradigm form. And we're going to run through that from here. Preparation. Left side first, and we go forward and back and turn, lean, flip, hand goes down, right side out, right side up. Grasp the sparrow's tail, right side. Hook your wrist, turn to the front, open the stance, single whip. Palm side in and down, across and level, diagonal flying. Shift, move in, move out. Find your center, press forward, and we go right up to raise the hand. Bend from the waist, turn, and then stork flap swings. Turn again. Brush knee 4 times, so we can follow it in the mirror. So we're here. There's the first brush knee, followed by the second time. And we go to the third one. And there's your brush knee push. Yeah. Then we go to the center again, right side. Then we go forward. Then we turn out. Brush knee and push. Sit back. Strum the lute. Turn to your right. Back to center. Forward. Close the door. Form the fist. And punch. Divert, out, in, out. Cross the arms. Leopard and tiger, springs to mountain. Okay, sit back again. This is fist under elbow. So the hand is right under the elbow. This elbow is the vertical elbow. Then we go back to neutral. Round out. Reverse the stance. Turn your spine. Then we do the other side. Turn. Separate the hands and push. Sit back, forward, twist, down, and push. Now we go to neutral again. Hold the ball. Step up. Diagonal flying. Sit back. Insert the needle. Step forward. Now this is fan to the back. We do this in the warm-ups. Fan to the back. Turn. Stroke down. Parry and punch. Step up. Form the fist. and punch. Divert, block, and punch. Cross the arms, left it in tiger springs to mountain. Okay, neutral position. Now we're going to carry tiger to the mountain, so we're going to turn this way. Yeah, we'll turn over here, carry tiger to the mountain. Cross the hands, raise the hand, bend from the waist, turn. And we're doing left side, grasp the sparrow's tail. Forward, back, and forward. Hook your wrist, turn, single whip, hold the ball, flip it over, diagonal flying. Okay, then we're going to step up after diagonal. We're going to step up, neutral position, stroke down, part the horse's mane. Now we cross corner, Jade Lady work shuttle, and then we cross corner again. One, remember, go through all your vertical and horizontal positions if you recall what they are, and then turn to the front after you drop your elbow and hook your wrists. Now once we're in the front and single whip, we have a set of cloud hands that we do. So we set up the hands, begin to maneuver across going to your left, and we do it again. So it's just a repeat. And we're back to this corner. We hook the wrists, we step out, open the hands, hold the ball, and we close by flipping the hands and diagonal flying. And we're out to the side, we pull back and close. Okay, good. So, I think we did a lot of detailed stuff on the different postures. So something you after a few deep breaths first. So that's like a tutorial. You house that information. Your body doesn't respond right away when you learn something that's different. And you have to let your body grow into it, or let your brain begin to refine some of that. So all of that will be supported in everything that you do. It doesn't matter what style. It's really part of your transition, because a brush knee is a brush knee, a grass sparrow is a grass sparrow's tail. And when you learn to turn, it's becomes a natural course of the movement, and everybody should eventually move their torso. The arms have specific sizes and shapes based on the reference points: eye level, shoulder level, center line, and so forth. But people typically, if you're not very active, or if you haven't done this type of thing, we just don't know. So I'm gonna work with Dorothy maybe over there, and then you can run through the long form. Kim, you wanna lead it, or maybe Seth want to lead this long form? Just go. We got about 20 minutes, just enough time to do the long form. So you can do it here, then run through it. Kim, you can stand here, and then we'll go over here. Yeah, and go through the form, and then we'll end the class. You get the mirrors and try to do the best you can. So you're working on the short form, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you haven't fit? Had you got to the end yet, or not yet? Did you make it all the way to the end? Okay. Yeah, yeah. So let's go through it again. All right, you want to go through it again from the beginning? So, yeah, yeah, yeah. So let's consider that the front side. Actually, I do the linear form on the video sometimes. And what the linear form is, you can see all the postures. So let's do the first two sections in the linear way, then we'll do it in the map way. So then you can see what you look like as far as movement. Okay, so we start off like this. And you can bend your knees, that's preparation. When we step up, we have a left side neutral. So straighten the fingers, straighten the hands, and get a position so it looks like this. You want a little bit of center line, yeah. There's a triangle to here. So when you look in the mirror, that's why I want to use the mirror, because you don't, yeah. So you end up over here. But that's imbalance. You really should be here. And then when you go like this, if the thumb is here, then you're like this. Now when you do that, put this hand here, relax the shoulder, and come forward. Let your joints be pliable, right? Because when there's a rigidity in the joints, you can't create the shape. So it feels like it's there, but you're not letting it go. So feel the release in the position, and then let your knee come forward like that. Now come forward with the knee. No, just the knee. See, because your knee should kind of give way to the forward position, the front knee. So you have to get this knee to respond, and then you sit back and toe out. So see how I did that? 1, 2. Now I'm going to bend, go forward, and step through. Flip the hands. Bring this hand down. All right, I'm going to just move over here, and then bring it back up. Find the other side. So you want like this. Yeah, you want like this. See, because it's a circle here. This is the first one. We went forward, then we dropped the elbow, and then this hand has to go to here. Then this hand comes around and takes over. Now you're on your right side. And then we do that. Okay, so just that alone, right? So we're here, right? 1, 2. So get your right foot forward. 1, 2, 3. Grasp the sparrow's tail. Thumbs up. Yeah, thumbs up. Yeah, thumbs up. Palms together. So you have this cross position, and then back and forward. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 1, 2, yeah, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those are 4 positions. So it's 1, right? Yeah. 2, 3. It's right here, just like this. See, it looks like they're crossed. You see what? See, this is horizontal. Like that's a horizontal. This is on your thumb, because that gives you a reference point. So that's your reference. So your palms are actually, the middle of your palm is like it's pinned there. That's why when we flip and relax your shoulders and then flip, your hands would be doing that. Okay, so when you're here, you see, so they're kind of pinned right here. So you see, there's a pivot point right in the center here, right? Now if I go forward like this, yeah, in the horizontal, then I'm going to separate the hands, and then I connect right here. Then I'm going to draw a line toward my, right? And then here, this just pivots off that middle finger and goes forward. Then you hook your wrist, that's grasp the sparrow's tail. Then we turn this foot out. You see, look at my foot. It's going to go over there to here. Step out. And we're here. And that's your single whip. Hold the ball. So we're over here. Let's go to hold the ball. Okay, ready? So it seems different because we're using the mirror. So, so you want to do that like we're doing. Let's do it facing this way, and you just follow along. Okay. Okay. Ready? Ready. So we're like this. Ready? Preparation. Yeah, behind me. Yeah, behind me. That way you just follow me. If you, so I'm right here. Right. Ready? Then step toward me. Vertical. So we step toward me. Yeah. So I think sometimes you don't recognize, or do you understand the horizontal vertical, what that really means? Do you understand? Yeah. Yeah, that's very, yeah. So that would be vertical. So anytime the elbow is down, it's vertical. The elbow out. Yeah. You can't really do that way, so it only can go this way. So anytime your hands are like this, like the first exercise, horizontal. When we do this, horizontal. When we do this, square, that's vertical. When we do this, that's vertical. So, yes, strum the lute or centerline triangle is, okay, let's face the mirror here. So we understand these geometric shapes, then when you hear it, I think you can respond differently. So we find, hey John, so we're here, that's a vertical. Sort of like a prayer position, right? You kind of centerline like that. Okay, now, if we do this, there's the horizontal. So look at the position, you see a thumbs up. So whenever the thumbs up, your palm is facing towards you, right? And no, you can leave the gap because actually your wrists kind of line up with your shoulder. So once you're here, then you have the option. When we put the palms together, I have this thumbs up, I can put this palm here. I just put this palm here. But because there's only one of them, I want to bring this to my center. Okay, now let's do the other side. I put this here and then bring it to the center, or you can bring this to your center first and then put your palm together like that. And yeah, it doesn't have to be try, not too sort of not too dainty. You actually put it there so that you can align the middle finger with your thumb. It's a so the thumb is here. You put your middle finger right on that like that, and then just let it sit like this, and you have a horizontal position. And then if you drop your elbow, it would be that as a transition. Yeah. hmm Now, if this you have a little trouble with, this is horizontal, vertical, right? But when we're like this, and I go like this, now this is horizontal, and this is vertical. Yeah. So if I didn't have this hand here, it would look like this. Yeah. So it would look like this. Thumb, middle, thumb, middle, thumb, middle. That's how that side would be. On the other side, without the other hand, vertical, thumb, vertical. That's a now watch this. Vertical, hands here. Neutral, strum the lute. See, so when I'm here and I'm here, to get to vertical I have to turn, and this hand's here. So between this, this is just how you turn your palms. So the palm could face that way, the palm could face toward me. Then if I put the thumbs down, the palm faces outward. And then the face outward would be like this. Right? And if I lift it all the way up, stork flaps wings. So so it's just turning your hands. So that's what you're doing with your bones, your skeleton. You're maneuvering the skeleton to create the shapes. But what drives those actions is muscle contractions, but not you know very strong motions. It's just turning it. It's just turning it. It's just. But that's taking resources to do that. Energy, nutrients, chemicals, firing, dopamine is used for those things. They're the transmitters, those actions. So that's why if you're lacking that, the transmission is sometimes slow or delayed. But because you're moving, you're building understanding of how to move. So if you become efficient in your movement, then you're going to use less energy, less, resources. You're not going to get exhausted from using too much tension or too much strength. So what I'm trying to teach you is to be efficient. Understand the geometry of positions, because your skeletal structure only goes through this geometric maneuvering, those positions. But the geometry of position gives your body a chance to understand the circle, the triangle, the square, how your joints are moving, and then it's allowing you to create these actions. So that's all up here. It's very unique in a sense how I try to approach it. Um, but I think coming to class, you probably feel a little overwhelmed by so much going on. So it's not as focused as we're doing it all as like in Belmont. We focus together on the same. So it's a little different because everybody's at different stages. Hmm? No, I think you should continue doing the videos and come. Uh, hmm Yeah, yeah. So which break it down in a very simple. Uh, yeah, you don't have to do a lot. Just do the sequential side of it is one thing, but it's better to follow when you're not sure. But you can practice this. Yeah, you can practice this. Now, when I go like this, if I turn, I'm already in that position. If I turn back and I switch the hands, and then I turn, so between this and this, you start to recognize that relationship. The hand, right side, and the right side toe up, they start to become common, and you don't have to think about it. But if you don't do it enough where the body recognizes it, or you do it but it still doesn't recognize, then you have to keep doing it until your body actually takes it into the subconscious, like taking a cup to your mouth and that type of thing as an action. But I think it's about time. So I think, is it time? Is it about time? About time? 7:30. It's right there. I put a clock right there. Is it 7:30? Yep. Okay. Just about time. So we'll go on the other side and bow out. It's good. Everybody good? Okay. We'll go over there and bow out. I should sign out. Tell them I'm going away. Okay. Yeah, we can go in there and bow out and close the class. Okay, everyone. That was about uh, the end of the class. So we're just gonna go into the other room, and we're gonna start a kung fu class. But the class was more on tutorials and some basic fundamentals. They did the long form, so hopefully enjoyed that. See you next time.